I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
The podcast put together with Red Raider fans in mind. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Hey there, how you going? Happy Tuesday. It's Tech Talk on Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com with Dr. Mike Gustafson and Clint Scott. I'm Aaron Dickens. We're joining you today until 6:30. We'll have coverage coming up at that time of the Texas Rangers as they continue their series with the Chicago White Sox. They won last night, 3 wins in a row. Another home run for Josh Young yesterday, his 15th on the season. 5-2 was the final, and the Rangers will go for the series victory today. 7-10 first pitch from Guaranteed Rate Field. Rangers have extended their division lead to 5 games over the second-place LA Angels. The defending world champions, the Houston Astros, are riding a bit of a skid here. They've lost 5 games in a row. We'll have them as well tonight. For you, 100.7 the score is the destination. 6:40 is when that pregame coverage will start, and the Astros will get underway against the Metropolitans at 7:10 in Houston, Texas. We have College World Series baseball live on the air for you right now over on 100.7 the score. It is an elimination game, Gus. The loser of this goes home. TCU leads bottom of the 5th, 6-0, although Oral Roberts, they have 2 men on with just 1 out and a 3-1 count. So some opportunities here for Oral Bob.
Yeah, Oral Roberts didn't turn a double play in the top half of the inning, and 4 runs later, it wasn't an error. I think they just got the 1 out instead of the 2, if I remember correctly. And boy, that it's a hard way to live. Hard way to live in that stadium, in that forum, kicking it around, giving up extra outs.
They've been pretty resilient, though, so far through the postseason. Oh, yeah. I don't know that I would feel just extremely comfortable with a 6-run league if I'm a TCU fan.
No, and TCU's already into their pen, and that's with no runs here in the 5th. They started Cam Brown, and he'd worked a lot out of the pen this year, and so I don't think the intention was to get him deep into this ball game, and at the same time, it's not an all-staff game either, but I bet you we see a couple more guys from TCU unless this dude just carves the rest of the way.
We'd love to hear your thoughts and comments today on the Yates Flooring Center chat line.
Hey, you mentioned Josh Young earlier.
Right. Yeah, he went to Tech, did you know?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for that guy. I bet he's a good dude.
Yeah, I bet.
I believe the last day to vote is Thursday.
Okay.
I think that's right. So, and I did get a count, and the count is Matt Chapman, 929,000, Josh, 879. So 50,000 votes back, and then way down there, just barely over half of Josh's total are Devers, Jose Ramirez, Bregman, and those guys. And actually, Ramirez and Bregman are less than half. So Chapman and Young are running away with it.
Right.
And so, one thing that we would hope for there is the one's getting voted in, obviously, but the other one is the reserve. And why not? I mean, if you're thinking about who would be going from the Rangers, Josh would probably be right there at the top of the list, right?
I would sure think so.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I think they believe me, they've earned more than just the one spot for the Kansas City Royal Kansas City and Oakland are going to get one guy there. The Rangers are going to get a few more than that. But yeah, I would think Josh is right there near the top of the list, especially at that position this year. So he may be in good shape either way, but it's still a gentle reminder to vote and vote your 5 times here.
Oral Roberts on the board. 6-1 now, bottom of the 5th. 2 men on, 2 outs. And we have a mound visit for the Horned Frogs. Tomorrow we'll have College World Series action here on this station The Astros are playing a day game against the Mets. That pushes College World Series action over to Double T 97.3, so we will probably have a delayed start tomorrow here on Tech Talk. Don't know when, but as soon as the game tomorrow ends, we will be on.
Yeah, 1 o'clock ball game tomorrow. Another, of course, most of them are elimination games at this point. Loser go home type scenarios.
We also have an update on the Jello Shot Challenge. TCU, a pretty respectable third place, I think. Of course, LSU running away with it, more than 22,000 Jello shots sold. Wake Forest, a surprising 2 here, 6,500. And then TCU with more than 3,100. They're ahead of Oral Roberts. They're ahead of Tennessee. They're ahead of Florida. Way ahead of Virginia. Way ahead of Stanford.
Any truth to the rumor that a guy from Kiowa County, Kansas, showed up with this special Everclear? It's like, and wrote 4N down there at the bottom of the whiteboard, and they threw him out. Is that you, Clint? Did I get the county right?
It's called a one-man representation.
Did I get the county right?
Yeah.
Is that where Mullinsville is?
No, because it's not a real place.
I should have kicked the county if that was going to be the theme here. I forgot that you and AD have a thing going here.
What's the thing?
Oh, you mispronounced the hometown.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
My bestie Clint Scott. Hey, how about Joey McGuire climbing the crane yesterday?
He promised us he would, and all decked out in his PPE, his hard hat and safety vest, and looked like he had some boots on. If I had to guess, those are probably steel toes. I'm not sure about that, but yeah, he was decked out and did the climb. Really, to no one's surprise, right?
Right.
I mean, he probably loved every minute of that. And they had a drone up there shooting it, so some cool social media footage. And hey, and I'll tell you what, at this week,
but it was hot too.
Oh, I know. This time of year, it's a good time to salute those dudes that are down there working, because all us fans are sitting around at our in front of our computers going, hey, we got a game, you got to hurry up and get that field ready. And now you got like these dudes out there grinding away in the 106.
Speaking of dudes in PPE getting criticized, anybody have any idea what the hell they're doing on 27? They had it down to one lane for like 3 miles.
I know, they were touching up a deal.
There was nothing until like the very end, and just like 4 dudes.
No, they had worked over there back in May for a couple weeks, and that was visible. Like they were chopping out concrete and patching up looked like some rebar or whatever, and then they moved down there to the South Loop over toward Quaker, and then they went away, and now they're kind of popping back up. And I'm sure
every day 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's pretty irritating.
Yep, and I mean there's not great big chisel holes in the ground, so whatever they're doing is, probably, I'm sure it's important. You don't drive by and go, oh, wow, piece of steel sticking up out of the ground.
I'm gonna withhold judgment on whether or not it's important or not, Gus.
I understand.
I'm gonna remain a
little benefit of the doubt.
A little skeptical. TCU escapes with just the 1 run given up. They lead 6-1 going into the 6th inning there in Omaha. LBK Realtor 23 says McGuire climbed it in wood bottom cowboy boots.
There you go.
Wood-bottomed horse name.
The thing they usually don't let you do is just hop on there in your Under Armours or your Nikes or whatever. You've got to have some
like flip-flops. Probably not.
Probably not. Nope. Yeah, you'd have to go closed-toed.
Have you ever seen any of those like Russian daredevil videos?
No. Not that I know of.
They're just like dumb kids that climb these very kind of tenuous-looking towers, and it'll make your stomach drop.
No.
More Tech Talk next.
It's every Red Raiders favorite podcast. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3. Presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Hey, it's the Juice on Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com with Gus and Clint. I'm Aaron. We're joining you here from the First United Bank studio with you until 6 o'clock. Hey, Double T 97.3 and Lubbock's very own Raymar Communication would like to encourage you to join us in lending a helping hand for the community of Perryton after they suffered a devastating tornado on June 15th. Help lift up the community of Perryton and be part of our West Texas Cares for Perryton effort by stopping by any First United Bank and making your monetary donations. Lubbock has always been a community that cares for others, and now another West Texas community has experienced a tragedy. It's our hope that we can show our neighbors in Perryton just how West Texas cares for Perryton. Please make your contribution at First United Bank. Texas Rangers are in action tonight, taking on the Chicago White Sox. They beat the White Sox yesterday 5-2. Rangers have won 3 games in a row, 4 of their last 6. They'll make it 4 in a row, or hope to make it 4 in a row tonight. 7:10 first pitch from Guaranteed Rate Field. Our pregame coverage will begin for you at 6:30 here on Double T 97.3. Texas Tech head coach, head men's golf coach Greg Sands has signed former North Texas standout Vicente Marzillo to a national letter of intent. He was the Conference USA Freshman of the Year in 2021. He signed with the Mean Green out of high school and was recruited by UNT assistant at the time, James Vargas. Vargas, of course, was announced as the Red Raiders associate head coach last week. Marzillo was a 3-time NCAA regional participant and also a 3-time all-conference selection. How about that? You too can join the program. Would love to hear from you on the Yates Flooring Center chat line at doublet973.com. Somebody sends a tweet in. This is from PJ, where it says that several recruiting insiders are now kind of officially locking in their predictions that Micah Hudson will commit to Texas Tech. And listen, I've spilled the beans on this before. 9 times out of 10, maybe 95 times out of 100, when these expert types, whether it's on 3, 24/7 rivals, whatever, when they kind of lock in one of those crystal balls or future casts or whatever on 3 calls it, it's a done deal. So,
Yep, you've said that before.
hopefully that's the case here. I don't know that for a fact, but I hope that it's true. You too can join the program. Would love to hear from you on the Yates Flooring Center chat line at doublet973.com. All guests appear via the Visual Edge IT hotline. I was, oh man, Oral Bob just kind of spitting the bit here. No outs, 2 men on, second and third, down 6-1.
Yeah, I tried to get back into it a half inning ago at the tying run on deck. Didn't get that done, and now just
it was a good story. Good run.
Roberts magic feels like it's either that or it's going to be epic level magic because they're coming back from 5 runs.
They're toast. There's no way they come back from this. You can go ahead and write TCU in moving forward in Sharpie. It's done.
Playing, you have to beat Florida twice.
Yeah,
tomorrow and Thursday.
Yeah,
that'll be a tall order.
This game's over. No chance. No way. Oral Arbor comes back now. 100% done.
Appreciate the magic you're putting.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, nothing.
I wish I could do magic. Like, I would like to be able to do like one legit magic trick.
You could practice and do that.
You know?
I'll be honest, I'm surprised you don't know it.
Like what is that supposed to mean?
Well, you know what I mean. It just seemed like
a party trick.
You give off it would be. You give off the vibe that you would know a couple real small time magic tricks that are like, oh, we should have seen.
That's like
that
2
coming.
insults in a row. It's like back-to-back insults in the same sentence.
Like I pulled this quarter out of my thank hole, or
we get this.
Hey, dude, you were in there in shorts the other day, and those legs you've got look like they were dipped in ranch dressing. So you need to be careful, man.
The SPF, especially right now, Needed. High count on
When's
that.
the volleyball tournament?
Thursday. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Thursday night.
Okay. And you're a 1 seed. Expectations are heaped upon you.
You know that like after SPF 50, it just doesn't matter.
There's a diminishing return. Maybe I've wondered if the SPF 75, as it diminishes, at least it lasts longer or has more value than if you go SPF 30. And I don't know, how does that work?
I think I think it's 50. I think after 50,
it works, and then it doesn't, or is there a gradual decline?
I'm not
like after an hour, it's lost 10% of its potency, something like that.
I just know that like from SPF 50 to 100 or whatever, it's like 2% more effective. How does that work?
I'll take the 2%.
If the defender kind of slides into the bag, clearly unintentionally, but still does, and knocks the runner off, like
you can call that.
That's out.
No, you could call that obstruction, like he gets back the bag.
Got it. This in the chat line. Swords, trains, and magic. You got this, AD. You can master the disappearing producer trick. Oh, I love that.
Like swords.
Yeah, let's try that.
Or like the one where you cut your assistant in half.
I bet you can make some cheese weenies disappear. I can. Yeah, pretty quick. Raiders.
So you can make the weenies disappear? Is that what you're saying?
Raiders dad says this. AD, walk me through you and the wife's Dr. Mario sessions. We recently found out that it was available on the Switch via an app. I made the joke that I never thought I would want to fight any of my kids, but I have those instincts. Dr. Mario ruined our anniversary last week. We are both so competitive, we can't stop until she ends with a win. Help a brother out.
Well, you sent that one picture that day.
Yeah.
You and your bride locked in. She was locked in. And
we actually played on her lunch break earlier.
Oh.
We basically start at 1, and then whoever gets to 21st is the winner until the next time. She dog cusses me as we play. And one of the very few times where she's been like legitimately mad at me was because I just whipped her tail in Dr. Mario, and that was not that long ago.
And you just pimped it out of the room.
What do you mean?
After you won, just
no, I didn't. You
didn't sit there and gloat and do anything. She just took her beating and was mad. That's what you're saying.
She dropped the sticks.
You didn't. Like if you'd have been talking crap the whole time, you could see where her anger might have been more normal than. I mean, did she ever win? Did she win 10%?
Oh yeah, no, she
20%.
No. So I won the last kind of race to level 20. She had won the one before that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's
you're
not
trading blows then.
Yeah, this isn't like
right.
That Little League versus the.
Yeah, no, that makes it a good rivalry.
Yeah.
Because then if you're not sharp, you get kicked and you're mad about it. But that's a good rivalry. The 0-16. There's no rivalry there. That's not even fun.
We played a lot before we got married, and we had made a bet that who's ever ahead and winning by the time that we get married has to or gets to be acknowledged by the other one in their vows.
Oh,
like
nice.
You've got to refer to the other person as the Dr. Mario champion.
You're keeping stats.
Yeah. And I was ahead. She chickened out.
Oh,
I know. Yeah, it's a source of frustration. Not
really.
Whoa!
Hey, yo!
This is the challenge from Raiders Dad. Also, what levels you're all playing? We basically play level 15 medium speed full time, first to 3 wins. We just start at 1 and then go all the way to 20. The winner goes up a level. The loser stays there, and so it's really hard to get more than like 2 levels ahead at any given time. This in the chat line from our friend PJ. Need you to clip that, Clint.
I think it was the weenie reference.
Raiders Dad says, man, when she drops doubles and screws me, I just have to hold my tongue.
Good guy.
And you know what? That's like, Greek to basically all but like 2 people in the audience. Yeah. And myself and being one of them. We have a challenge underway in Omaha. We'll keep you apprised. More Tech Talk next.
podcast put together with Red Raider fans in mind. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Hey there, how you going? It's Tech Talk on Double T 97.3 and Double T973.com with Gus and Clint. I'm Aaron. We're joining you from the First United Bank studio with you until 6:30. So if you're watching the College World Series, if you're flipping back and forth between us and 100.7 The Score, an interesting play just now in Omaha, and not really just now, it was like 5 minutes ago after a lengthy review, but a ball was put in play. The runners at second and third, runner at second was kind of caught in the middle, bit of a rundown. Was it the shortstop, ran him down, tagged him out pretty much right at the base. As the fielder was kind of lunging to tag out the runner, he kind of fell into the runner that was standing on third base. The momentum of that fall pushed the runner off the base. On the field, he was called safe or obstruction or whatever. Yeah. But after review, they overturned it and called that runner out.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that. I'd like to have heard that explanation. And one thing they will do at times on a ruling like that is give us something in the post game, and I'd be interested to read about it, because I don't think that was a situation where momentum was involved. Because if it's iffy, over sliding a bag or overrunning a bag and a dude trying to reach back and maybe getting nudged off, but that right there was a dude with like,
he was protecting himself almost.
That's what I thought. And if I would say it this way: if that had gone against the Red Raiders and we were in their shoes, of course, if we were in their shoes up 6-1, it'd be a little easier to stomach.
Sure.
But yeah, if that call had gone against us, it'd be like, man, that I wouldn't be.
I would be incandescent with rage.
Yeah, like that one guy was. They showed a guy wearing a TCU shirt. He pushed him off. He was not happy.
Bases juiced now for TCU. 2 outs, so they have a chance to kind of pour some on here with a good play. This in the chat line: Mario, Luigi, and Mushroom would make great pig names. Stop it. It's not true.
I mean,
yeah, don't just get
one. It seems pretty fantastic.
No.
Don't just get the one pig. Get all 3 of them.
Raiders.
You can get Peach in there.
Princess Peach.
You got it down. You already got the name down. Yoshi.
This on the chat line from Raiders Dad: when I lose, it's boo, boo. And when I win, it's like, suck it, Steve.
Boo. I can't imagine why she was infuriated with you.
Suck it, Steve. Raiders Dad also asks, AD, how are y'all playing Dr. Mario? Super Nintendo, hooked up in the living room. Yeah.
I can confirm the living room part of it with the photo you sent.
That was the first birthday present that I ever purchased for her.
The TV and
the Super Nintendo.
Nice.
Yeah.
And went, no, we're not going to put this in the guest bedroom.
No.
Right here on that big 85-incher.
Mm-hmm. So 24/7 Sports came out with its latest, I guess, composite team recruiting rankings. And by composite, it is, and Oral Roberts gets out of the inning. Still 6-1 is the score, TCU on top. Composite means, hey, we're going to take a snapshot of Rivals, of 24/7, of ESPN, of On3, everybody that does these things. We're going to kind of average them out, and this is what it looks like.
And this would be the next recruiting class.
For the players that sign in December and February and would be on campus and, on the roster for the 2024 season. Right. So basically the players that will be freshmen the first year of the new Big 12.
There you go. Yeah, I was just making clear that we're not talking about the kids that just showed up to camp last week.
And so looking at the new Big 12, so not including Texas, not including Oklahoma, Tech has the highest ranked class as of right now of those 12 teams. According to the composite, they're 19th. And this is a little bit different than last year around this time when you were top 10 or so, because you had like 20 commitments.
Right. And everybody else had 3.
Yeah, it was largely a function of volume versus anything else. And while I think you have 13 right now, it's a good number. It's not something crazy. I think 19th is kind of more indicative of where you might end up on this deal,
which is really,
especially
really,
if you
that's
lay in a
tremendous.
Micah Hudson type.
Yep.
But Tech is number 1, followed by West Virginia 32, Kansas 34, Cincinnati 36, Iowa State 38, Oklahoma State 43.
Think about the ones you've all named right there. I assume every one of those would involve volume signs, right? If you're telling me that West Virginia is second in recruiting right now, wouldn't that be a function of them having a bunch of guys? I mean, are they really recruiting that well?
I
with
actually think that
coaches,
I think
hind
that
in on the line.
for as poorly as it's gone on the field for Neil Brown, recruiting has been pretty solid. And they
Okay.
only have 13 commits. They have the same number of commitments as Texas Tech.
Okay.
And their average star ranking is north of 3, which is pretty solid, very good. So Oklahoma State 6th in the Big 12, 43rd nationally, then TC 45, UCF 49, Baylor 54, K-State 57, BYU 67, and then Houston at 98. The Cougs, I think, only have 1 commitment for this class, which is not great. And listen, I know we've talked about this before. This is all going to be change a lot as teams and programs fill up. But the reason I bring this up is that I saw somebody ask a question: how tough can this new Big 12 be with these 12 teams? Since it doesn't seem as if you have an elite recruiting powerhouse in the group. What kind of potential do you have there, do you think?
Right. It's not, because you're subtracting, obviously, the Longhorns and Sooners that are annually near the top or at the top.
Because you look at Kansas State, which has been, I would guess, over the course of the league's existence, I'd say probably the 3rd best team from '96 to now.
Mm-hmm.
They've had the 3rd most championships in the Big 12. I think that's true. They're not going to win and be great based off of 4- and 5-star prospects. That's never been what they've been about. They're going to hit on evaluations. They're going to play a particular brand of football. They're going to be disciplined. They're not going to beat themselves. That's their identity. And so I don't know that you can look at K-State as good as they are, and they were my first place vote on my preseason poll. Did either of you fill one out? No. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. But yeah, K-State's never going to just beat you over the head
Right.
with overwhelming talent. And I think that's probably isn't that the vibe with most of these programs?
Yeah, I would think so. I would think so. I mean, that's not to say there won't be some talent edges along the way, but I would think that's exactly the case. And where K-State may have come up short at times is when they get on the field with an elite talent bunch.
Alabama in the bowl game,
Right.
Yeah.
Their style of play gets gets exposed a little bit because they just don't have the ponies to hang. But I mean, yeah, I would think so, and I would also say that it's a good time to have the recruiting, I guess, infrastructure, whether that be staff, excitement over the new facility, the construction and that, and what's about to get done. Just all of those things. It's a great time because we really genuinely will have a chance to be on down the road a couple years one of the more talented groups in the conference, and that's not a position we've been in throughout our history.
I mean,
very
maybe
often.
border conference,
Right? And when we would say it, I mean, when we talk about that you're right. But with Leach, it usually fell to the one side of the ball based on his identity. We had a better shot at getting Des Bryant and Julio Jones because they were receivers, not because they were edge rushers,
right.
For example. We obviously can get them, but you get what I'm saying.
We'll continue this conversation next on Double T 97.3.
The podcast that finishes your workday in a very Red Raider way. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Hey there, how you going? It's Tech Talk on Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com with Dr. Mike Gustafson and Clint Scott. I'm Aaron Dickens. We're joining you today until 6:30. Would love to hear your thoughts and your comments on the Yates Flooring Center chat line at Double T 97.3.com. All guests appear via the Visual Edge IT hotline. This on the chat line, somebody says, AD, are you saying that the new Big 12 might never challenge for a national championship? Not at all. TCU played for a national championship. Granted, they got run off the field with borderline top 30 on average recruiting classes. Right? They had some in the if you look at the 5 classes preceding 2023, they had 3 that were in the high 20s and then 2 that were in the 60s, according to Rivals. Now maybe 24/7 is slightly different, but my point remains. Especially when they open up the playoff to 12 teams, I think you might see more variance. But you'll have to play your best game, right? I mean, TCU didn't do that, and Georgia punished them, right? Because the more talent you have, the more margin for error you have. And the transfer portal helps things too. I guess the reason that I brought that up is, one, I think at some point you're going to see some separation in the Big 12, and where a program right now might be like Texas Tech, for example, be 19th. If they start to have more and more success in this new Big 12, then their recruiting efforts will improve as their results in the field improve. And the same goes for if it's TCU or whatever. I'm not trying to be some homer here. And I think like UCF. I think UCF, Tech, Baylor, and TCU all have the potential with their current staffs in place to be perennial top 25, top 35 classes year after year, right? And maybe better than that. Certainly in the case of Tech, I would expect better than that with the way that they're producing on and off the field. But do we really think BYU is going to become some kind of recruiting powerhouse?
Yeah, not sure what the dynamic is that changes there. They don't have an old tired facility that's about to get redone. They don't have a new dynamic. It's always going to be way out in the Rocky Mountains. It's always going to involve a year and then 2 years off for a lot of their kids. I mean, It's just the dynamic's not going to change. That's not an indictment. It's just when you talk about what it is that's going to change to allow that program to elevate itself. I don't know what that is, short of a really, really great fit hire.
I mean, UCF, they're located in a very talent-rich state.
Sure.
They have had a lot of success at the Group of 5 level. Facilities-wise, it's not like the Plaza or the Ritz, but it's quality. It's fine. They've got an on-campus stadium that was less than 20 years old. They're pouring all kinds of money into facilities. They're not just significantly deficient in any area. And then we know that Gus Malzahn knows how to recruit.
Mm-hmm.
TCU, we know Sonny Dykes can recruit. They're located in the Metroplex. They're located in Texas. They've had success recently. And then Baylor too. I mean, they've won a Big 12 championship in recent memory. They've won a Sugar Bowl in recent memory. I think Dave Aranda is a kind of a different cat, but they can still bang out top 30 recruiting classes. And then we're getting a first class view of what McGuire and his staff can do here.
Yeah, it really is exciting to think about the next several years. because of the ascendance of Coach McGuire and just the, all of this excitement, everything around it takes hold, facilities get finished. It's the sky's the limit.
This on the chat line, somebody says that Oklahoma is ranked 47th in the rankings. Texas is 59th in the team recruiting rankings. Sure, but they're not going to finish there, right? Those programs will finish in the top 25. I'm almost certain. Their rankings are largely a function of the volume right now, the quantity in their class versus the quality. This on the chat line from Raiders Dad. After playing my wife in Dr. Mario, I didn't visit Poundland on our anniversary. Oh my gosh! I'm in love with you.
Just so we're clear, Poundland is a store.
It's the dollar store in the UK. Yeah.
So we're clear.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh wow! I was expecting more.
I got a 17.
There it is. And a rah.
I was trying to practice this new word I learned called restraint. And it broke down.
Yeah, it held you back for about 5 seconds.
Giggling back here enough that I just finally
and then ding, hotkey.
This in the chat line: incandescent rage, horse name, or weed strain, or marker colors. I guess neon red. I don't know that I would try incandescent rage weed strain. That's kind of the opposite of what you're going for, right?
What does this do? Does it relax you? Does it make you laugh? Oh man, it just turns you into the whole
really, really ticked off.
You just pick up an entire desk and throw it across the room.
Well, that sounds pretty cool.
An entire desk.
It just makes you start doing magic tricks left and right, and you haven't even practiced them.
Hold on here. Still 6-1, bottom of the 7th. Man, why do these games take so much longer?
Like the early game? I know it does. It feels like I don't know. Because they're still 20-second clocking it and everything else. Yeah. But and it's not like you go, well, these are the losers bracket games. Yeah, we're still got 8 really good teams playing, and they're not slugfest in the sense that it's 10-9, but there's teams are really grinding. But it does feel like these early ones go really slow relative to. I tell you what, that game last night was clean and that was good baseball. LSU Wake taking down LSU. That was some big boy baseball. My goodness.
Were you impressed? Were you surprised?
Yeah.
Was there a part of you that kind of was doubting Wake Forest a bit, just because it's just little old Wake Forest?
Yeah, and that, and just the first time up there and how that place can take the oxygen out of you, and the things that happen up there. There's probably a lot more emotion involved to it. A lot. When they talk about slowing things down, that. When you get Clint Scott in front of those keys in there, he can really slow his heartbeat, But when you get in that ballpark, that heartbeat's probably a little bit harder to control. Clint goes down as a great collegiate hitter, and but yeah, last night they kicked it around in that one inning, and then made the unbelievable play at the plate, like game changer play at the plate, and then pitched around it and got out of it, and then got the 2-out hit later. That was good baseball.
You still think Florida wins, or are you maybe leaning toward the Deeks now?
I'm probably still. I don't know.
Sure.
I'll stay with my pick.
Gosh, I bet my house on your pick. How could you let me down?
I know. Hey, that's something just. Over the years, I've gone in there times thinking, boy, this is the year LSU go, and they're 2-Q. I think they went 2-Q Bregman's last year, and you're like, what? That, I think I'm right about that. You just never know what's going to happen up there. And I guess that's the beauty of it.
I just got this call. They said this person's giving up because the only thing that was, keeping them going on was Gus's conviction for Florida, and he's wavered as Gus has wavered. So
no, I'm in on Florida. I'm just saying it's not a. This sport got to be brutal to pick.
Baseball. That's right. That's the sport. More Tech Talk next.
It's every Red Raiders' favorite podcast. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Hey there. How you going? It's Tech Talk on Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com with Gus and Clint. I'm Aaron. We're joining you today from the First United Bank studio with you here until 6:30. We'd love to hear your thoughts and comments today on the Yates Flooring Center chat line at Double T 97.3.com. Hey, we here at Double T 97.3 and Raymar Communications would like to encourage you to join us in lending a helping hand for the community of Perryton after they suffered a devastating tornado on June 15th. Help lift up that community and be a part of our West Texas Cares for Perryton effort by stopping by any First United Bank and making a monetary donation. Lubbock has always been a community that cares for others, and now another West Texas community needs our help. Show our neighbors in Perryton just how much West Texas cares for Perryton. Please make your contribution at First United Bank. Kind of piggybacking off of our earlier conversation about the new Big 12 and the recruiting potential of those programs, Oklahoma State has won a ton of ball games. They've won a crap ton of ball games under Mike Gundy. They are one of just two programs nationally that have had a winning season, I think, in each of the last 15 years. Alabama is the only other one. What Gundy has done there is incredible. And yet, the recruiting production does not really match up with that. They have never been, for all their success, they've never really seemed to capitalize on it recruiting-wise, right? You kind of, when you map it out in your head, right, if you're a Tech fan, as Tech kind of went through its decade of suck and hopefully is well on the other side of it. Hey, win big and then recruit big. Oklahoma State has won big, right? They've won a Big 12 championship. They've played in New Year's 6 bowl games. They've stacked 10-win season on top of 10-win season on top of 10-win season, and yet the recruiting production has not really ever, lived up to that. And that got me thinking about Mike Gundy. And maybe that makes his success there more impressive.
Yeah.
But if you were, and I typically roll my eyes very hard at this comparison, this sports talk radio trope, but here we go.
Got 3.5 hours.
Is he on the football coach Mount Rushmore for the Big 12?
Oh, wow, for the Big 12. You have to put what? Stoops, Mac Brown, Snyder, Gundy. Gundy's got one thing Gundy's got is longevity. My goodness.
Mangino?
I mean, there's some categories that I want him on the Mount Rushmore.
I think Mike Leach has a case.
Yeah.
Based on,
you start talking about influence.
The influence, not necessarily the wins and losses. Of course, never won a championship, never won an outright division title, in fact. But I mean, his fingerprints are still all over this league. I think Gundy's in that conversation, though.
Yeah, I do too.
And I don't know that. And actually, I know this. I wouldn't fault anybody for putting him on there.
No, I wouldn't either. And it's like most Mount Rushmore considerations. Usually pretty easy to get the first couple, and then for 3 or 4 or 5 jockeying for the last 1 or 2 spots.
I do think the first 3, at least for me, that you said are pretty immovable with Stoops, Brown, and Snyder, and then I could be talked into the 4th one.
Yeah. And I'm not certain about Snyder. It just feels like, what he did. The fact that he did what he did there twice. When he stepped away in the mid-aughts, 05,
05 was his last season.
Yeah. And they immediately went,
oh yeah, Ron Prince.
And then he gets right back
your
in
power
there.
towel. Get your power towel, everybody.
Yeah, and he gets right back in there, and here they come again, not making mistakes, and really good special teams, turnover margin, and all those things, no penalties. You go, that guy.
I was really hoping after Snyder 2.0 they'd go Ron Prince 2.0, and clearly they didn't.
Well, I mean, I kind of was too, just in the sense like get somebody out of our way, be dysfunctional, but they did not.
I mean, I think Gary Patterson.
Yeah,
but most of his success was not in the Big 12,
right? And that's where that's the acknowledgement you have to make, and that's an important asterisk. I mean, if it's a Big 12, Mount Rushmore, that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, as much as the SEC will try to claim SEC legend Vince Young. Or SEC legend.
Oh my gosh! And they'll have to do that.
Baker
crap.
Mayfield.
They'll have to do that crap now.
I don't want to play that game. And I mean, do you ding like Osborne for just not? I mean, can't argue with his success in the Big 12 for as short as that time was, but still, that was at the front end of this deal, and it's been a long time since.
Yeah, he'd have to be on the list to be considered for that, though. Right? I mean,
the conversation.
Yeah, sure.
Mandolin Max says this, great name. Gundy maybe, Gundy's mullet in for sure.
Also, Gundy's "I'm a man" speech in for sure as well.
Yeah. Mark Mangino, someone says in the chat line. Somebody says this.
Totally not my burner.
What? Really? You just outed your burner like that? What would it take for AD to agree to a Viking piggyback ride?
Who's
riding? Who's the piggy on the back?
Am I the one benefiting from this? Who's the piggy on the back?
Who's the piggy? And who's
the... Raiders' dad has challenged me to a best of 3 Dr. Mario contest.
That would be cool. I mean, I don't know who... I might not even know who wins if I saw it. If I sat there and looked at him.
I would smoke him.
It would be
100%.
See, now there it is right there.
So agree to the terms.
I mean, I'm not going to do a superhuman stunt.
You're not inviting a stranger into your house, though, are you? Who get home field advantage? You go to his house one day?
No, if anything, we would do it here.
Oh, okay,
and if you would smoke him, then there's nothing to be worried about.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we can set that up. Do it here.
Loser does
friendly,
superhuman Chris.
No.
So.
How long does a game take to play? Like every 15, 20
Depends
minutes?
on how bad he is, I guess. I mean, it doesn't take long. It's...
Oh!
Hey, yo!
You're a bleeping bleeper.
We can figure it out. This on the chat line.
It would seem to me that would be a good summer activity to have a little video game. And I don't even mean full-on esports thing, but just something for all the fat old guys to have a Mario Brothers competition or whatever wouldn't be a...
I think we should go full esports. Aaron comes in decked out, sponsored shirt, goes to the sales team. Hey, we're having this video game thing. You think we could visual edge?
We're still waiting for a binder sponsor. Are you kidding me? They've been sleeping on the job.
It's
all these great sponsorship opportunities available, and it's like crickets.
It's not the most outrageous thing, and I'm no aficionado of this kind of thing, but taking the rig that you're talking about, what you call Nintendo or whatever it is, over to play this Mario Brothers thing. Take it to one of our sports bar places with a lot of TVs. It's gonna be great.
This has been the Tech Talk Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.